1, 2, check, 1, 2.
Good evening and welcome to the special meeting of the Fire Board, February 6th. Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Rear?
Here.
Mrs. Fisher? Here. Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Ryder?
Here.
Mrs. Stanko?
Here. Please stand and join in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. President, members of the board, Madam Treasurer, first of all, I'd like to thank the public again for coming this evening. I want to reiterate a couple of things. We left it, I thought, on somewhat of a high note at the last board meeting, and my level of optimism of keeping the issues steering in this particular course. I just want to refresh everybody's memory. The purpose of the Board of Education is in our meetings, typically in our regular meetings, the second Monday of every month, is to follow the procedures that have been in place for a number of years. The purpose of the board meeting is to conduct board business. Obviously, this particular Board of Education has 2 hearings of the public. Those hearings are so that the public can address the school board, not necessarily that there's a response back and forth. It's an opportunity for the public to convey their message to the board members here. I know many people in our audience have taken an opportunity to call various board members. All of our telephone numbers are listed in the various publications we do and on our website. But I do want to draw everyone's attention, especially our Board of Education, 7 of us sitting up here. Board meetings are typically held to conduct board business. And obviously, in order to move the district forward, we need to keep that in mind. Obviously, everybody's opinion and comments are important. Doesn't always necessitate a reaction or a response at that board meeting from a board member. Obviously, every board member has that luxury and can respond if he or she chooses. However, it's been my experience in past working with boards of education that truly we do take the data in, and if there are some concerns and some conditions, obviously board members are free to answer the question. But the primary purpose of a Board of Education, as far back as I know, and in the districts I've worked in and with before, are to conduct board business. The agenda is posted before the board meeting, so people do have a chance to contact board members and to make their piece known, as well as to handle things when you do speak publicly, both on our end and then the public's end, when we talk about the issues at hand, and not necessarily make personal attacks on people. It certainly doesn't get us anywhere. We need to begin to focus our efforts on factual information. And I know that when money is tough, money is tight, emotions run high, and if we can all learn together as to kind of separate the emotion from the facts, hopefully we can have productive meetings from here on forward. And I say this not to scold anybody, but I do say it to kind of rein some things in and to keep in mind that the Board of Education up here, obviously we're voted in by the public. 5 board members brought Treasurer Swain on a little more than a year ago and brought me on in August with the goal of administratively pushing the district forward. So while they're here to set policy, they are not here to manage the school district. That role is my role and the treasurer's role. However, we do work very closely, and each person we work with obviously is a 20% share, as we talked about at the last meeting. We do have to go into executive session. I do have a personnel issue to talk to the board about. We should be there for between 5 and 10 minutes. It's an issue that normally would have been on at the regular board meeting. However, there's some pressing information I need to share with them so that they are kept abreast as well. So we do have it's relative to a personnel issue, and
We need to,
that's where we're at.
I move we enter into executive session, consider appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual. Yeah.
So move.
Discussion? Please call the roll, Stephanie.
Mrs. Fisher? Yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Ryder?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Everyone can stay seated. The board is going to move and they come back. That way you don't all have to leave the room.
Stephanie, let the record show that it's 6:52. Back in the public session. Item 3 on the agenda is receive your request. Susan Lawrence, the CEA president, to be included in the agenda. Susan, I don't even know where you're at. Oh, there you are.
city. I have 3 children, all who graduated from Chardon local schools. And I am employed by the district and am president of the Chardon Education Association. I represent 198 educators who are very concerned about what has been happening at these board meetings. And yes, they are concerned because this board and your tax dollars pay their salary, which of course is their livelihood. But they are also concerned about the status of the educational program in Chardon's public schools. Most of the educators I represent have been here long enough to be a part of Chardon's rise to the top, the highest level in the state, excellent. It was their hard work and dedication, along with parent and community support, that helped accomplish this. Now, as they sit in the audience or watch GTV, all they hear and see is that this excellent public school system is going to be dismantled because there's a good chance that a levy will not see the ballot this May. And even if it does, it will fail because of the dissension among the board, misinformation that is spread, and innuendos that cast doubt. I personally know each person sitting at that front table, some better than others. I can honestly say that each individual sitting at that front table is a person of good character, high moral values, and this is the most important thing to hear, each person thinks they are right. Each person is convinced that they are doing their best and making the right decision as an elected official. Regardless of how the rest of us perceive this, each board member believes they are doing the right thing. One of my favorite books of all times is called Eyewitness to America by David Colbert. One of my favorite sayings is, those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. And now, a little history lesson. Did you know that at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, the majority of the delegates were unhappy with the Constitution and had decided to vote against it? Can you imagine how that one decision would have affected our country as we know it today? They too were each convinced they were right. The Constitution failed to secure many crucial individual rights, and it failed to resolve the differences between the states that would eventually lead to the Civil War. That said, the Constitution of the United States was headed for the trash bin, were it not for the efforts of one man, Benjamin Franklin, who rallied the delegates to a common cause and called for them to ratify the Constitution despite their concerns. He convinced them that ratification was necessary to move the country forward. I would like to read to you an excerpt from Franklin's speech to the delegates at the Constitutional Convention because his words apply here 219 years later. I confess that there are several parts of this Constitution which I do not at present approve, but I am not sure that I shall never approve them. For having lived long, I have experienced many instances of being obliged by better information or further consideration to change my opinions, even on important subjects which I once thought to be right, but found to be otherwise. It is therefore that the older I grow, the more apt I am to doubt my own judgment and to pay more respect to the judgment of others. Most men think themselves in possession of all truth, and that whenever others differ from them, it is so far in error. Few express this so naturally as a certain French lady who in a dispute with her sister said, "I don't know how it happens, sister, but I meet with nobody but myself that is always in the right." Thus, I consent, sir, to this Constitution. The opinions I have had of its errors I sacrifice to the public good. I cannot help expressing a wish that every member of the convention who may still have objections to it would, with me on this occasion, doubt a little of his own infallibility and to make manifest our unanimity. Put his name to this instrument. I have remembered this story, and I reflect upon it a lot. I hope you will think about it and realize that the decision made here today must be for the common good, and it must be one that will move our district forward. This board rules by majority. The majority vote was a 5.5 mil, 5-year term levy. It does not matter whether we agree or disagree with this decision. It may doom the district in 5 years. On the other hand, a continuing levy of 5.75, which many CEA members would prefer, may not pass. We cannot predict the future. We do not know what forces may intervene between now and then. Mr. Burbant has said that he will be able to make this work, although it will be a challenge. He has stated that we will be able to continue the educational program we have established in Chardon. The difference between the amount of money that would have been generated by November's 6.75 millage and the currently proposed 5.5 millage is approximately $300,000 per year. Mr. Burbant thinks he will be able to make up this difference by tweaking the way we do business without diminishing our staff, our services, or the materials necessary to carry out our jobs. Let's give him this opportunity and move forward. Let's talk about the high quality of our public school district. Let's talk about the educated, intelligent, and caring staff we have for our students. Let's talk about the accomplishments of our public school students, graduates, and staff members. Let's talk about the excellent value we receive for our tax dollar in this district. Let's talk about being one of the best suburbs in which to raise our children, due in great part to having an excellent public school system. Let's talk about how we can all work together for the common good of this district and community. This kind of talk by all of us will get this necessary levy passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Mr. President, I wanted to thank Mrs. Lawrence, and that's as I understand it. Mr. Franklin, Ben Franklin, did so much for us so many years ago. Actually, the Bill of Rights came in there to have amendments set within the Constitution so that he could get to more of the votes of the colonies in forming our Constitution in 1787. It was a good lesson. It was good to review, and I thank you for it. The next item on the agenda is the levy resolution. So Stephanie, you have that to read? The one that came back from the auditor?
Pages.
Hmm?
Would you like to see that?
You will hand it to me, I'll read it if you had it here. I didn't have the one back from the auditor. Resolution number 2006-20. A resolution submitting to the electors of the school district the question of an additional 5.5 mil tax levy for the purpose of current expenses. Whereas on February 1st, 2006, this board adopted resolution number 2000-031 pursuant to section 5705.03 of the revised code, declaring it necessary to levy an additional 5.5 mil tax levy for 5 years I'm requesting the Geauga County Auditor to certify the total current tax evaluation of the school district and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by that 5.5 mil additional levy. And whereas on February 2nd, 2006, the Geauga County Auditor certified that the total current tax valuation of the district is $653,003,039, and dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by an additional 5.5 mil levy would be $3,551,800 in 2007, $3,551,300 in 2008, and $3,470,900 in 2009 and beyond. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Board of Education of the Chardon Local School District, Geauga and Lake Counties, Ohio, that Section 1, the board hereby finds, determines, and declares that the amount of taxes which may be raised by the school district within the 10 mil limitation by levies on the current tax list and duplicate will be insufficient to provide an adequate amount of necessary requirements of the school district, and that it is necessary to levy a tax in excess of that limitation at the rate of 5.5 mils for 5 years for the purpose of current expenses. Section 2, the question of an additional 5.5 mil ad valorem property tax levy outside of the 10 mil limitation for 5 years for the purpose of current expenses. Beginning with the tax list in duplicate for the year 2006, the proceeds of which levy first would be available to the school district in the calendar year 2007 shall be submitted under the provisions of Section 5705.21 of the revised code to the electors of the school district at an election to be held herein on May 2nd, 2006, and authorized by law. That election shall be held at the regular places of voting in the school district as established by the Geauga County Board of Elections, or otherwise within the times provided by law, and shall be conducted, canvassed, and certified in a manner provided by law. Section 3, the treasurer of this board be and is hereby authorized and directed to give or cause to be given notice of that election as provided by law. Section 4, the treasurer be and is hereby directed to deliver or cause to be delivered a certified copy of this resolution, number 2006-031, referred to in the first preamble of this resolution, and the related county auditor's certificate to the Geauga County Board of Elections before the close of business on February 16, 2006. Section 5. This board finds and determines that all formal actions of this board and of any of its committees commencing and relating to the adoption of this resolution were taken, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were held in meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Section 6, the resolution shall be in full force and effect from and immediately upon its adoption. Do I have a... I so move.
Second. Mr. President, aren't you supposed to read that 3 times?
Thank you. Discussion?
I have a counter proposal I would like to make after we vote on this resolution.
Mr. President. This next levy request is just that, a request to the voters to fund our schools. Today, taxpayers in our community and across the state face much uncertainty regarding the stability of their employment. Asking for more money at this time is difficult. Asking for more money at this time without a unified board will be impossible. I believe that this board needs to be united in support of this levy being requested from the only people who can grant it to us, the voters. It is true that the levies passed over the past decades have been continuous in duration. However, given the current uncertainty in the job market, the need from schools statewide for better funding, and a need to regain the trust of the voters, I believe a term levy at this time has the best chance of being approved in May. Our funding request needs the absolute best chance of success, and I believe this term levy request will attract more yes votes than a continuous levy request. A continuous levy would give me, as a board member, less to worry about with regard to funding, both next year and in the future. However, I believe that being a part of the community means that when the community is worrying about their money, where their money is coming from, then we are too. A term levy will require more attention to finances, which I do not think is necessarily a bad thing. The public is paying more attention to their finances now, and they are the ones that we are asking for more money. Times are changing. If we cannot be flexible enough to work with the community, then I fear we will lose, and more importantly, our children will lose. Chardon has a great school district. However, we must never lose sight of the fact that we are where the taxpayers have allowed us to go. Without their support, we will collapse. A 5-year, $5.5 mil levy has been voted on, and a majority of the board has approved it. This board needs to send a message to the voters now that all 5 board members support this levy request for our schools. We do not have to agree on every issue. However, when a board action is taken based on a majority vote, this board must stand as one behind it. The future of our schools begins with this next vote. The direction we take is up to the board. Board members, please join me in voting to regain the trust of our community, fund our schools, and continue shaping a bright future for our children.
Thank you. Stephanie, would you please share with the rest of the board, you told me this afternoon on the phone about the process in the event that this is not approved?
I've been informed that if this resolution.
Please speak up.
I'm sorry. I've been informed that this resolution should fail, that it is no longer viable. We would have to start the process all over again. There's no amending it, or if it fails, the levy is null. And the process has to start at the beginning with passing a new resolution, be submitted to the county auditor for certification, and then the next step would be this resolution to be submitted to the Board of Elections by the 16th. It is my understanding that we have 10 days in which to bring forth a new resolution, and that the auditor was able to certify this resolution within a matter of minutes.
That's true, but in order to come up to this, it will take some miracle work.
What will?
Anything other than what we've spent the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, last month, whatever, hashing out to this point. We have one member who is leaving on a scheduled vacation. I will not be available after tomorrow. I mean, that's just it. I mean, this is a part-time gig. We meet here once a month, meet for some special meetings. I have met here, along with you folks, meeting after meeting after meeting. I have done my very best bring consensus to the 5 people here. I can't go, and I won't go any further. That's it. I mean, You can have the hammer if you want it. Take the damn hammer, but that's it.
Excuse me. Please watch your language, Blake.
You can have the darn hammer. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Swain, thank you for confirming for us that there is an alternative and there is time, and it is not due until 16.
We haven't sat here for months to hash out this deal. When the meeting was canceled last Monday, I received a phone call that said the treasurer had been instructed to contact the attorney and draw up a 5.5 mil term levy. I said, on whose authority? This was never voted on. We haven't been hashing this out for months. I have not. I haven't been privy to it.
Meetings before that, we discussed our personal preferences on term versus continuous levies. Everybody made their position known at those meetings. Everybody made their position known. The positions were along the same line as this vote. The instruction to come to a 5.5 mil number was that I asked Mr. Verdant and Mrs. Swain, what is the rock bottom number that we can use to operate this school without laying anyone off? Again, I go back and when I caution that, that's not a guarantee that we will have the same people employed in the following years, but that's not something that can be foreseen on the amount of this levy or this type of this levy. I instructed Mrs. Swain to get the two resolutions, and at that time, that's a drop dead number. I took people that were at a position lower than this in both millage and in duration, and singularly with arm twisting, got them to come to this number. When we met last Wednesday, the immediate response was, we won't have money for books, we won't have money for buses. Both of those, upon further checking of the numbers, which were given to us, the opening statement of that meeting by Treasurer Swain, and the statement was made that the board was seeing these for the first time, trying to analyze numbers and participate in a meeting at the same time is difficult at best. Since that time, there is money in there for exports if the board chooses to use it for that. The money, because of the interruption in money, when we collect it for, if the levy passes, the money is a little less next year, but there is money there. Then it comes up to an acceptable number and grows by 4 or 5%, something like that, each year after that. The proponents of this levy immediately went to 5.75 mils, immediately went to continuing, and then they stand on that there's no compromise. The fact is that the majority of us have said at one time or another, whether we live by it or not, that we have to come to the realization that we will agree to disagree. It's unfortunate that this is the absolute test of the agree to disagree condition. The majority of the board voted for this resolution. It requires a 2/3 vote, which is 4 members, to pass this resolution. As stated, not a refusal to do my job. I will be here on the 13th. I have stated that I will not be available for serial meetings to do this. I don't know who else is available or not available. Here. You didn't take it. But I call the question. Stephanie, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
I vote in favor of the 5.5 mil 5-year limited tax levy.
Mr. Rear?
I vote in favor, yes.
Mr. Ryder? Mr. Stefanko?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher? No. Compromise that I would like to put forward
I move,
is
you
that,
got your,
I'm speaking,
I-
is that
I'm
Mr.
order.
Ryder?
You're out of order. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
You've got to be.
I second.
Mr. Rear?
Nice leadership.
Mr. Rear?
Yes.
Mr. Ryder?
How about the kids, guys?
No. Yeah.
What a Stefanko?
Yes.
Way to work the unit.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, he moved.
Great leadership, Blake, great leadership. Don't come back.
Our meeting's adjourned. Mrs. Fisher, would you please read what you...
Well, Mr. Ryder and I were willing to compromise to a 5.5 mil levy as long as it was continuing. I guess that's a done deal. I did have a statement I wanted to make. The past 5 days have been very difficult for me, both as a parent, with students in the district, and as a member of the school board. It is my opinion that I have been bullied and been intimidated. I have friends who also happen to be school employees and volunteers who have been harassed and who have had their ethics questioned. I have had people tell me that the future of this district rests in my voting for this levy resolution, when in actuality, each of the 5 members of this board has an equal vote. Some may twist my no vote on this resolution and say that I don't care about the district, but people who know me know that nothing is further from the truth. I will not sell the children of this district short with a term levy. I had a compromise. It was a fair proposal. My vote is not for sale, and I am so sorry that we have people who left this meeting.
Thank you, Suzanne. There is time calendar-wise to go through the process and meet the February 16th deadline if all board members can agree to do that.
You have quorum.
I understand. Part and parcel of Mrs. Fisher's proposal, which she presented to each board member well in advance of this evening's meeting. The proposal, I believe Sunday, was presented to the superintendent, and this morning to Mrs. Swain. Contained a provision that would move the district forward, and that would be to come back to the voters in 1 year, certainly no longer than 2 years, with a permanent improvement levy, which would relieve that portion of the general fund obligation to purchase buses, upgrade our technology, handle building maintenance. And you all sat here and you heard Mr. Greer expressed concern regarding not having money to replace original windows in the high school. Permanent improvement levy will do that. We budget for 2 buses a year for the next 5 years. We have 40 buses in our fleet. It would take us 20 years to replace our fleet. We have several buses that need replacing right now. It has never been mentioned the deplorable condition of the fleet of trucks which are used in this district for snow removal and general maintenance work. We have a board member who's been critical of our manager of operations, Dean Stearns, for not buying new equipment. Mr. Stearns would love nothing more than to buy new equipment had the money been available. Money was not available. He buys the best used equipment he can. We continually replace transmissions, weld the frames back together. Mrs. Lawrence made compelling arguments. There was no Bill of Rights. The proposal was voted down tonight. Mrs. Fisher presented what we could loosely refer to a Bill of Rights, another alternative to ease some of the objections, and that was permanent improvement levy. Mr. Greer, the last time we were in this room, expressed his concern that he was the only one in favor of a permanent improvement levy and received no support. That's not true. I've always been, and Mr. Greer is well aware, of the permanent improvement levy. I want a standalone levy that doesn't restrict our general fund expenditures. As a concession to Mr. Greer, we would support permanent improvement. So there was some compromise in some of the question was raised that 5 years from now, a 5-year limited levy may prove to be a disaster for the district. At best, we would maintain the status quo. And I am convinced that Mr. Greer will do everything he can to contain costs, continue to come up with extra dollars wherever possible. But it's irresponsible to campaign against the levy. It's irresponsible to attempt to mislead the community into thinking that the performance audit that is being prepared and worked on is going to save and bail this district out. I sat in the preliminary report on the performance audit, in which only 4 out of 5 board members attended. And I came out of there sky high. I was so happy with what I had been told and given in writing about this district and its operations. There were a lot of recommendations, many of which we can probably implement shortly. There was a high degree of cooperation on the presenters in the state auditor's office, cooperating with us and getting us materials so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel and make some changes. But I can tell you right now, they're not finding significant money that's going to bail this district out. And it's going to be up to taxpayers of this district, sooner or later, at some point in time, to tell us what kind of program you want. Quite frankly, maintaining the status quo isn't going to cut it. It's going to Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you both, and I truly appreciate your unending support for my efforts and Steffi's efforts. I don't know really what to say to you tonight, other than, and I know there's always some humor behind things. We've done some behind-the-scenes work, the treasurer and myself, as far as trying to get people to come from the earned income tax over to back to the property tax, to educate our board members that property tax isn't certainly the way to go at this point in time. There there are other districts operating under the guise that the new earned income tax that's available is the way to go, and perhaps it is the way to go in the future. However, now was not the time. So our time, effort, and energy have been spent in one-on-one situations with board members, trying to educate them to come around to the notion that, yes, earned income tax might be a way of the future. However, now was not the time. Now is the time that the superintendent and the treasurer need dollars in order to keep the district moving forward. Without those necessary funds, and without a tax issue on the ballot in May, we have the gruesome task of facing the people that we must lay off. If something doesn't happen between now and the final drop dead filing date of February 16th, I will be compelled to come back to the Board of Education, five Board of Education members, with a realistic plan of the at a first pass, $2.6 million. And I tell you, first pass. It's not going to be fun, and we are going to have some ugly situations. Board meetings will become more emotional as time grows on. And I know there is some humor in the audience when I say that, and I take that as a response to your fear of what's going to happen. I don't think that any of you think it is fun, because clearly it's not. Part of my attraction to Chardon Schools, and again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the attraction to many people. 7 years of excellence in education doesn't come easy. You've had great leadership, you've had great central office staff, you've had great principals, and importantly, teachers. Our biggest investment is our teachers in the classroom. And without the tools to do our jobs, we are going to dismantle education as Chardon has seen it. And some of you that were here in the 80s know exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, we do go into contract negotiations with both bargaining groups coming soon. Again, it's going to be an interesting situation. I will be back with the Board of Education in the discussions that happen one-on-one, one-on-two, and obviously we can't meet 3 at a time because of the sunshine laws. In dialogue with the association as far as the reduction plan. And we'll do the terrible things that a superintendent must do when you don't have the tools to operate in the school district. So unless something happens between now and the drop dead filing date on February 16th, the future is cast. I must give a budget to the treasurer, who must be able to authorize that budget, because we may not, by law, end the year in the red. I know that there's been some suggestions of borrowing money. That may be an option, but we will not entertain that. It's not my advice to do that. However, the treasurer and I work for 5 board members. Each one has a 20% interest in this. Their role, as I tried to state at the beginning of the meeting, is to set policy, listen to the public, and then do things based on the superintendent's recommendation to the 5 board members in cooperation with dialogue that I have with the treasurer. And if that process doesn't happen that way, we will dismantle Chardon Schools. And I'm sorry to be the one to do that. I am hosting an I thought was going to be a little better of exchange on Wednesday evening over at the board office at 6:30. Anything that the public can do to help Chardon Schools move to the next level, I'm all ears. I will be available at that time, as well as any other time to meet with anybody. You name the time and place, and I will be there. If the treasurer needs to attend with me, we will. Again, I'm a little at a loss as the next step, other than the fact that the 5 board members need to provide some additional direction between now and February 16th, with my input and the input of the treasurer, in order to make lemonade out of lemons. The next opportunity, if it does not go on in May, obviously there will be a set of reductions, as people have been here throughout the 80s when we had the ups and downs of school finance. The reduction plan will be in effect. We will take an official vote the second Monday in April, as we have some legal deadlines to accomplish. If it does not go on in May, My proposal would be to put it back on in August. However, we will be very tight as far as engaging in the schedule that we want to see for the children of this district, as well as for the various athletic events that need to take place. As you're aware, many of the sports start way before the teaching staff and the students come back to school. Many of those items are in jeopardy. And this evening, I really truly don't, I'm truly at a loss for words, and I'm going to wrap it up, and thank you two for staying with Stephanie and myself. I appreciate it, and look forward to your support in the future.
Joe, I'm available anytime between now and the 16th.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We certainly appreciate it.
Padua ball, 31-31, 9.7 seconds. Darby and Schofer, 7 seconds. Schofer with the ball. Outside with a 3. That's number 30, Kathy Jindra. 34-31 at the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll be back with the 4th quarter of play right after this. This is GTV.
Merlinda Harlan checks in for the Lions.
In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And as the beginning of the 4th quarter is here, we have the score of 34-31 in favor of Padua. Off of O'Brien, Padua ball. 14 fouls for NDCL, 2 for Padua. At this point, not making a difference in the game, but could at the end. Schaffer. Inside, number 42, Ashley Morris. That's her first point since the 1st quarter. DeLuca hasn't scored since the 2nd quarter. Same with Rossi for Padua. No, I'm sorry, for NDCL. Schaffer with the ball. Travel. Cans is back into the game. Gives Jindra a rest. She made that all-important 3-point shot at the buzzer. Rooney with the ball. Nice move. Takes it all the way in, up and over. And DeLuca. Oh, almost. She's out of bounds. Good try, though. Padua ball. 36-31. Just under 7 minutes to play. Cans. Nice move. Good spin move. Wow, nice job by Darby. That's her first points of the game. Very effective on defense. Harlan. 2 shots. They're going to call her for the block. That's Ashley Morris with her 2nd foul. Team 3rd.
It's her 4th, team 3rd. Merlinda Harlan at the line, shooting 2.
Okay, my mistake. It's Kickham. It's her 4th. Harlan makes the first one. Tough call for Kickham. And she makes the second.
Lauren Rossi checks in for the Lions.
Up the middle. Nice job. Good play by Schaffer. Nice. The only place could be and still make the shot. Ashley Morris. 40-33. Oh, off her teammate's foot. Into the corner. Nacero gets underneath to DeLuca. O'Brien with 3. A little off to the left. Padua with the rebound. Schaffer with the ball. Rooney on her. And a miss pass. Gilombardo doesn't do that very often. Into trying to get it into Morris.
Sandra Busser for the Bruins.
Harlan with the ball. Nacero putting it into play. Harlan outruns Busser. Not a strong enough pass. White ball. Good job by O'Brien to try and keep Cants off the ball. As a result, they get the ball back. 33-40, favor of Padua. O'Brien tries to make a roof down the... Oh my. Oh my. All ball looked there. The official was rather upset with the body language. Almost got hit with the technical. O'Brien at the line.
Kayla O'Brien is at the line, shooting 2.
I have the third foul for Cants. O'Brien shooting 2. First one's in. Boy, whoever's taking those pictures have got to stop. It's really, they need those foul shots right now, and they can't afford to have the girls distracted. Up and in. Nice job by O'Brien to keep her head about her. 35-40. Gilombardo really putting on the pressure. Nice job. Well, I'm not sure where that occurred, but we have a travel on Grabowski. NDCL, they got to take advantage of these calls as they come along. Into O'Brien. Thinks about a 3, passes it out to Harlan. Stops at the foul line. Can't quite get it. Pestic with the rebound. NDC trying to get another play going. Outside for O'Brien, little long. Pestic. Out to Nacero. She travels. Darby's into the game for Padua. 35-40, 4:50 left to play in the fourth quarter. Even scoring by both teams into the fourth quarter so far. NDCL not able to make too many shots, but taking advantage of the foul shooting. Nice. Oh, 2 shots. Good move by Morris.
Also number 42, Quincy Pestak.
Pestic with her second.
Ashley Morris at the
Team
line,
fifth.
shooting 2.
A little off to the right. 35-40 in favor of Padua. 4:33 left to play. In case I haven't said that already. And up and in with the second. 41-35. Rossi. Nice charge by O'Brien. Oh, my mistake. Nacero with 2. The layup on that one. They got to make this press work. Nice job. Over to the other side. Good break. Outside, a little long. That was Gillimbardo with that three-point attempt. 37-41. Can't quite get inside that 4-point lead. The Busser, close to a 5-second foul. Busser takes it in. Gillimbardo. Ooh. Jindra. Foul inside. On Nacero. That's her fourth. Wow. 6-team.
DeLuca in the lineup.
DeLuca relieves her. Outside, little short on that one. Busser. Rebound was by Morris. Padua ball. Possession is to Padua also. I'm sorry, bonuses. O'Brien pulls up for a three, in and out. Foul on number 30, Rossi, that's her second. 7-22 is, that's a 17th foul. Gillimbardo shooting 1-1.
Shooting 1-1.
This is their chance. Let's see them take advantage of it. Rossi with the ball. Good rebound by NDCL. Oh boy. Morris with the foul. That's her second.
Foul to number 42, Ashley Morris.
Team fifth. Three-player change for the Bruins.
Jessica Guzmanski will check in for Padua.
Need a score.
They got to make a score out of this one. They're still 4 down. Help her. She needs help or she's going to get called. Double dribble. Wow. Those are the kind of mistakes you can't afford at this point. 3 minutes left is all. Let's see if NDCL can get the ball from the Bruins. Busser with the ball. Busser from outside. It's a two-pointer.
Sandra Busser.
43-37. And we have a timeout by NDCL. We want to remind you that there's all kinds of great winter programming every week on GTV, so stay tuned to Channel 23. Don't forget the Community and School Bulletin Board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV 22 and 23. Again, both channels are now set up to take your announcement over the internet. You can now post your own on GTV. Check www.jagatv.org for details. Also, our non-profit organizations from our funding communities can send us their announcements of interest at GTV PO Box 336 or fax us at 285-9897. Again, that email address is jagatv@altel.net. O'Brien putting the ball into play. Timeout. Close to a 5-second timeout, or 5-second foul. O'Brien decided to call the timeout. So a full timeout, looks like, and we'll be back. This is GTV. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 2:34 left to play in the fourth quarter. Padua just got a bucket. It's 43-37. Ball into the Lions. Take advantage of the one short on defense. O'Brien into DeLuca. Oh, in and out. She gets fouled, though. She'll be shooting 2.
Fouls on number 35, Jessica Grabowski.
Grabowski gets her second foul. And DeLuca's off a little bit on the first one. This is where they need those foul shots. 2:27. Up and in, kiddo. There you go. DeLuca making the second one. 38-43. Rooney's in. DeLuca comes out. Nacero comes in to play the tall spot. Almost. That was a close walk, but she was up in the air enough to Busser. Oh, good push. And that's Grabowski. 7 points for. Outside to Rooney. 2 points. 40-45. Make the press work for him. Foul on O'Brien. That's her 4th, I believe.
Fouls on Kayla O'Brien.
Yep, that's her 4th. They're into the bonus. Padua is, so they're at the line for a 1-and-1. Busser shooting.
Sandra Busser is at the line. 1-and-1.
Little short. Nice rebound by Nacero. Unblocked by Busser. That's her second foul. Team 7th, so we'll be shooting 1-and-1. Rossi at the line.
Lauren Rossi at the line. Shooting 1-and-1.
Now let's see, again, if they can take advantage of these foul shots. They're shooting over 50% so far. Not quite on that one. Off her foot. Tough play. Okay, get 2 points off of this possession. Oh my, that I'm not sure I'd agree with. She was putting the ball on the floor. But again, the officials have the toughest job on the floor. Almost 5 seconds. Nice play by Kantz to get it off of Rooney's foot. They can maintain possession without having to call a timeout. Into Busser, double teamed, puts it on the floor over to Kantz. Over to Busser, nice passes. Oh, way to go, Nacero. Flying through the air, gets a hand on that. Breaks up any possible pass, or shot, I should say. 1:21 left to play in the 4th quarter. 40-45, favor of Padua. Morris with the ball. Cams. Busser. Trying to waste some time. Possession is on their side. Good pick. Busser for 3. Little short. Couldn't quite roll it in. Harland with the ball. Into the corner, O'Brien. Nacero. She gets the foul. I think. Nope, she gets called with a charge. Nacero, she's out. That's her 5th. And they're looking for a replacement. We've got a timeout here. We'll be back. This is GTV.
Erica DeLuca checks in for the Lions.
In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 53 seconds left, 45-40. NDCL won this contest at Padua. Looks like Padua's trying to pay him back. 45-40. I think I said that. Blocked. And we have a scrum. We have white ball, I think. No, one official called white. There we go. Trying to get themselves organized. Outside to Harlan. Rooney off the mark. Harlan with the rebound. Nice rebound, but she walked. Good effort to try and get the ball right back up, but she was off balance enough. Had a good vantage point here. Cans. And a foul on Rossi. Just trying to get the ball back. Rossi with her third.
Foul number 30, Lauren Rossi.
Padua shooting 1-1. 40.9 seconds to go. Cans shooting.
Shooting 2.
She's another good foul shooter for the Bruins. And makes use of that one. Extending the lead to 6 points, 46-40. And off the mark to the right. Out to Harlan. Trying to get some points real quick. Nice move. Harlan with the left hand. Nice job. 2 points. She's got 6 in the second half here. And we have a full timeout called, and we'll be back. This is GTV. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 32.6 seconds left. 42-46. Got it in. Morris with the ball. Nice pass. Grabowski holds it up. Foul on Rooney. Putting her at the line. That's Kickham.
Also number 10, Kara Rooney.
That's her third. Rooney's third, I should say.
Jade Kickham at the line, shooting 2.
She'll be shooting 2 because it's 10 fouls. And the first one's in. 47-42, 5-point lead. 23.8 seconds left. And a little short. DeLuca. Oh boy. Quick foul on Ashley Morris. That should be her third.
Foul to number 42, Ashley Morris.
And DeLuca at the line. Let's see if Erica can concentrate and get these two in.
DeLuca to the line.
1-and-1 situation.
She'll be shooting 1-and-1.
They only have 18 fouls, the Bruins do. Once you get to 10, it's a 2-shot foul. And there she goes. Get the first one in. 43-47. 22.3. And her second is good as well. We have a substitution. Pestic's in for, I'm not sure who. DeLuca. Foul on Rooney. That'll be Busser shooting. 21.4 seconds. One of those ball games where 23 seconds lasts for 15 minutes. Busser shooting 2.
Sandra Busser at the line. She'll be shooting 2.
Rooney's 4th foul. First one's good. And so's the second. 49-44, 5-point lead. Quick 2 or a 3 would help. 16 seconds. O'Brien goes for a 3, it's short. Padua ball. Good block out by Sarah Darby on Brittany Pestick. Bussers, 8 seconds left. Nice job by Busser trying to avoid getting fouled. Almost 10 seconds, and they didn't have that call because there was only 8-point-something seconds left. Nice job by the Bruins to gain control. We have some scores here with 10 by Busser. She didn't score until the second quarter. We have 6 by Kantz, important 6, 8 by Gilombardo, and a final 5 by Morris, the high scores for the Padua Bruins. For the NDCL Lions, we have 6 by Rooney, 12 by Harland, and 6 by O'Brien, and 4 by Nacero before she fouled out. DeLuca with 9 at the end of it. With the final score, with the Bruins on top by 5 points, we have it has been a pleasure, to bring you this NDCL girls basketball presentation. We appreciate you joining us. For Dave Jevnikar, producer, for director and cameraman Jeff Graw, this is Jan Black. We appreciate you joining us for this GTV presentation. Make sure you stay tuned to the next one. We'll see you. Have a good day. They clear that scoreboard so quick.
This concludes our portion of the concert, and we'd like to invite all choral alumni to come up and join us in singing the Hallelujah Chorus.
I would also like to take this opportunity to invite any and all of you, including alumni, who aren't listening right now, to help us tear everything down. This is a pretty monumental undertaking to get set up, let alone to get down, especially when everybody wants to get home. So if any of you feel the urge to lend a hand, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Don't forget, you have 3 minutes.
hold a chair and put it on a rack, we'd be most appreciative. And enjoy your holiday. Fire! Stop! Robes need to be hung up. Do not
to the stadium and pick up at least 5 items of trash before you leave. Please tell the stadium and pick up 5 items of trash before you leave. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you for your attendance.
Great game, guys.
Congratulations to the whole team. Good night.
Hey, I want you on the 30 mark. Hey, right over there by the 30.
You, what do you get one? Just a top of that. Sam got to come on.
No, I don't want water over here. Dump it out over here. Right here, come here. Come here. Take a knee. Shh. Listen up. Hey, congratulations, guys. You guys, defense, have been hanging in there the whole season. I knew I had faith in you. You guys have to have faith in yourself. Okay, you play this game for who? Yourselves. Solon. And who else? For you. And for the love of the game. You gotta love it. Okay, you're gonna get upset. Things are gonna happen. You guys did a great job hanging in there. You moved the ball right down there. We couldn't score. It's a good team. They're not in the Super Bowl for nothing. Great job. I'm so proud of you guys for hanging in there and listening and making adjustments. Great job. All these guys are proud of you. Hopefully you're proud of yourselves the way you guys played. Great team effort.
Huh?
Last time. What we got?
Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Over by the trophy table.
By the trophy table, guys. By the trophy table.
Drew.
Put your helmets on. Oh, guys, get rolling. Parents can't be over here. Parents gotta stay up here. Sorry.
Take a knee, guys. Take a knee.
Here we go. Guys, go around. Go around.
Guys, ready? It was a great game, guys. Both teams.
Very exciting.
Okay, before we get started, I want you fellas to do me a favor. I want you to look up here. These people up here made this possible for you. They brought you to practices for an entire month. They brought you to the games. The Bombs have struggled with dinner after practices. I want you to look up and thank them and give your parents and everybody up here a big hand. Today, everybody's a champion in my opinion. One play all season long, and any one of you teams could have won this today. Okay? You're all champions. No losers today. Okay. No, nothing to be ashamed of, guys. Okay? At all. Let's get the Hudson coach over here.
Clap it up for him.
Wow, cheers for your coaches. Congratulations, coach. You did a great job. Got some trophies here for you guys. Why don't you go?
Great job, Black Horror!
First of all, congratulations to Solon Silver. You played a great game, you had a great season, undefeated. You gave up how many points all season? 12 points all season. Hats off to you guys. You played a great game. I'd like to recognize my team too. I think we got down early there and we didn't give up. We just kept coming at them, and we took it right down to the wire there. Marched it down the field, got in the end zone. The last play just didn't go our way, but they showed a lot of fight tonight. Did not give up at all. Tim Stout, come on up. Timmy Stout. Ryan Sager. Mason Doyle. Come on up. Alex Mushak. Mitch Shellman. William Hess. Jack Milgrove. Ryan Walters. Andrew Recker. Andrew Durbin. Mason Longwell. Trey Tom. Jake Hart. Connor Hedrick. Tommy Banks. Christopher Reitnauer. Mark O'Connor. Timmy Kennedy. Joey Studer. David Nelson. Is that everybody? That's all our players, Coach. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Look at my coaches up here. Good job, Jerome Nelson. Dale O'Connor. Frank Doyle. Gary Mushak. Come on up. Greg Longwell. Save one for you, Coach. Good game, Sol.
Colin? Come on your face. Thank you. Thank you. Right ahead. First of all, great game, guys. You know, that's the way it should be. A tie is probably the only better way to end the game. I mean, you know, win or lose, it's always tough. I told my guys, one thing about this game, you got to love the game to play it. Okay, you got to play it for the love of the game. You guys did that. You can tell by the way you didn't quit. And that's a great thing. Again, you know, we didn't know if we can score against you guys because, again, I think you guys only gave up 2 to 3 touchdowns, tops, defensively this year as well. So I knew it would be a defensive battle. My hat's off to the whole program, and you guys did a great, fantastic job. All right, guys, congratulations. Parents, thank you very much for everything you've done throughout the 5 years I've been doing this with Solon, for sure. Coaches, your time and effort, couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much. My guys, some of you guys got to come back and do this again next year. That's the key. Okay, that's the key. My guys will come up. I'm going to go numerical. Just make it so there's no anything else going on. Corey Stewart, come on up. Nice guy. George Berry. Good game. Drew Stankiewicz. I'll smile. Ryan Schwenke. One of my favorite guys. You're all wet. True. Bryce Littell. Scott Young. Big man. Good job today. Kevin Segelka. Jake Stankiewicz. Come on, buddy. Are you gonna pick your own? Curtis Meister. Congratulations. Vincent Hill. Pizza waiting for you, buddy. Got pizza waiting for you.
Go eat a pizza, man!
Pizza, man. This is coming. Ryan Jacobson. Filling in his spot next year. You're filling in his spot next year. Michael Ricco. Hard on my nose, people over there. Good job. Jordan Rodriguez. Great job this year. Austin Stock. Two pizzas for you, bud. Two pizzas for you. Great job.
Put some weight on, kid.
Yeah, I gotta be a tackle again next year in the middle school. Nick Barnett. Our runs are at the second half. Good job, buddy. Got it. Edward Emery. All right. Hey, Bob, come on, you guys are looking so sad here. Come on. Brian Weiss, where you at? Good job, bud. Good job. Ramses. Madison. Nice job, bud. Nice job. Andrew Murner. Have fun? My staff. Dan Barnett. Jack Stock. In charge of our diets. Wrong guy. Jim Thomas. George Berry. Dan, come on up. Our defensive coordinator and head coach of this team next year, John Stankiewicz. Again, thanks everybody. Thank you guys for a great season. Good luck next year wherever you play. Thank you.
Let's see the trophy.
From Hudson and Solon, where they at? Thanks for a great season for all you guys. Good job. Thanks again, guys. One last thing. Mr. Bears wants to talk to you guys over there.
I'd like to thank Jerry Prim and South Euclid Unheard Board of Education for hosting the Super Bowl at this beautiful facility this year.
Hey, good job. Thanks.